Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Historic New Braunfels. Tonight marks the 1-year anniversary since we started this project, and we figured we'd take it to a whole nother level. So much so, in fact, that we rented a room for the night, 308 to be specific. So let's see if anything crazy happens tonight. But first, let's go catch up with Brandi downstairs and get some history. What's going on, Miss Brandi? We're super excited to be here tonight.
Hi, Josh. Good to see you. I understand you want to talk a little bit about the Faust history and some of the ghosts that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go to the ballroom and we can get all set up.
Sweet. So, Brandi, what can you tell me about the Faust, just off the top?
The Faust was built in 1928. It was built on the homestead of Walter Faust. We opened as the Travelers Hotel in 1929. Have 62 guest rooms now. When the hotel was built, we had 63, and then we took 2 rooms and made them into a suite on the 4th floor. Mm-hmm. And that was actually the suite where Walter Faust lived here for 7 years. Today, it is locally owned. As you see when you tour the property, there's a lot of original aesthetics. The floors in the lobby are original, the front desk is original, still use traditional style keys, and the key box behind the front desk is original, as well as the cash register that sits at the front desk. We worked really hard to maintain and preserve some of the history here in New Braunfels.
And so what about any of like the ghost stories and all the wives' tales that we all hear about this place? Can you elaborate any more on those?
We actually are sitting in our grand ballroom right now. Most of the energy that the ghost hunters have come in and found have been in this room. As far as we know, nobody has ever passed away here in the hotel. You know, they say Walter Faust, he haunts the 4th floor. All of the paranormal investigators that have come through here have all said the same thing to us, and that there's nothing evil here. We have a bunch of mischievous children that haunt the halls of the Faust. I've had a few personal encounters in the kitchen here. You know, I've had an empty orange juice jug fly across my head. We've seen glassware fly off the bar at an employee. Yes.
Is there any footage of any of those occurrences by chance?
There isn't. As a matter of fact, when the incident in the bar happened with the glassware, I did look back at the cameras, and for some reason the DVR was blank during that time. So that was really interesting. We're like, you know, is that a technical error or is that a paranormal influence? We weren't sure. You know, this building comes with its challenges. It is 91 years old. It keeps us on our toes, definitely. So.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really like about this place. Every time I come in here, I can always just feel the energy of you guys and the staff, and you know, you guys seem really connected with the building, and that's really cool because you don't necessarily get that everywhere you go. So, again, thank you for allowing us to do this and taking the time out of your day to do this with us.
Of course, we're happy to have you guys.
So, McKenna, what can you tell me about the Faust Hotel?
We have a brewery, we have a bar and restaurant, and then we have 60 guest rooms upstairs that we are continuously renting out for our guests.
So the brewery, when did that start? How did that come into play? Do you have any history on that?
So that was first established 12 years ago. It was originally based within the building. If you go into our restaurant and bar, you will see the big copper tanks that we have behind some glasses to where we first started our brewery operation. We have, I believe it's 8 mainstays that are available year round, and then we always have some kind of a seasonal brew. With it being October right now, we have our October Faust instead of Oktoberfest. We like to have a play on words.
There we go. So from what I understand is everybody has their own kind of a ghost story here. Do you have something of your own?
I do. So I had a guest come down. It was a Sunday night in October, and he was just livid. I calmed him down and asked him what's wrong, and he started telling me the story. He was in room 317 upstairs, and he was just laying there watching TV, and then he hears a knock on his door. He goes and he opens it, and no one's there. He's like, all right, it's some kid playing ding dong ditch, whatever. He goes back to watching TV. It happens again, and then it happens again, and it happens again. So finally, he goes and he's waiting right by the door, and it happens, and he opens the door, and no one's in the hallway. 317 is located at the very end of our hallway, and he was the only one on the 3rd floor that night.
So you brought up room 317. Are there any specific rooms where, granted, you know, this is kind of out of everybody's knowledge, if you will. Has anybody specifically said, like, hey, this room is like, something's gonna happen in this room?
On the 4th floor, they also say that that's where most people have cited Walter Faust. We've had numerous people who will talk about seeing a man in a long black trench coat and a black hat, and they all have the same story, that he's standing at the end of the hallway in front of the window, and it's super creepy. So we have stories about all the floors. We don't like to say that there's just one specific area, because I've had rooms that I have always thought were the farthest away from being haunted have a guest complain about something that they can't explain any other than our ghosts.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. I'm hearing these strange noises on the 3rd floor. Is there anybody else up here? No? That's strange. Okay, thanks. 3 a.m. and this is happening? Weird. I think it came from this way. Well, you know, local legend says that the Faust is haunted. If you don't believe me, you should come stay here yourself.